You're listening to the Super Sports Flash podcast.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome into the Super Sports Flash podcast. My name is Matt Nash, and I'd like to personally welcome you along with our journey as we head on into the sporting world.
It's like 7 o'clock, Matt. It's not really afternoon.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but I didn't want to be a jerk.
Well, close enough. Y'all want to go ahead and introduce yourselves as well?
Yeah, I'm Tyler Shibish.
And
Hi.
I'm Joe Will, making the magic happen, the hot takes. That sounded kind of weird, but we're going to go with it.
You know what? We'll take it.
Yeah. So, here on the Super Sports Flash, we pride ourselves on being a variety sports show. That being said, tonight, if you don't like football, this might not be your episode because
It's a football-heavy
NFL's
episode.
tuning in
today's Thursday the 10th, the kickoff of the NFL
Last time I
season.
checked, I think so.
According to my
calculations.
calculations,
Watch,
it's
etc.
Thursday the 10th, and the NFL is officially here. I'm super excited. But before we get to that, we should touch on the NBA, which is going to be our other topic. And I think we should do that first just so we can kind of,
Just so we can go ahead and riff on the NFL for as long as we need.
Yeah. So that being said, the first series to wrap up in the second round of the NBA playoffs was the Bucks and Heat. The Heat beat the Bucks 4-1, which was very surprising. I thought if the Heat were going to win, it would be a 7-game series.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Do you think after, last week we talked about, does this hurt Giannis's legacy if they lose? So after losing 4-1, how do you guys think this affects him as a player?
In terms of legacy, I don't think it affects anything yet because the guy's still 25 years old, for God's sakes. Well,
he's been banged up, too, this playoffs.
Yeah,
they're probably going to lose regardless, but,
yeah, it's just like...
Well, it's been a weird year, too. I always, I don't want to use that as an excuse, but just the way they played all those games and they were so hot, and then they,
you get cooled down.
Time off, yeah.
Yeah, because you get taken out of your cool zone, and that's just what it is.
I'm never out of my cool zone. I'm always cool.
It's cool.
Joe
Cool.
Joe Cool.
So one thing I wanted to bring up too is say theoretically, right? This is a little bit in the future. Say the Heat end up winning the championship this year, right? Jimmy Butler wins Finals MVP. That's exactly what happened with Kawhi Leonard last year. So how big of a boost do you think Jimmy Butler gets in the eyes of everyone? Because Kawhi went from being like that guy that plays good defense to, hey, he's pretty good on the Raptors to, hey, he's a top 3 player in the league.
I mean, he was a top 3 player on the league, arguably before he left the Spurs.
But no one saw him that way is what I mean. You hardcore basketball fans may have.
You hardcore basketball
But I don't think I saw anyone outside of maybe you now say that he was a top 3 player before, his Raptors finals run. So I'm just how do you think this affects, Jimmy Butler's
it would
ranking?
Skyrocket Jimmy Butler's ranking just because people would finally because they said him going to the Heat was a mistake for him and a mistake for the Heat. Because they were like, I can't believe the Heat are spending this much money on Jimmy Butler. He's just a cancer everywhere he goes. Jimmy Butler has elevated that Heat team to a new level, and their team is tighter than it has ever been before.
Yeah, they called him locker room cancer, but I've seen so many videos of the Heat players just kind of broing it up in the bubble and getting along.
He's not a cancer. It was Jimmy Butler. It was a mixture of the organizations and the players he was paired with because Jimmy Butler is a hard-nosed guy. He had to work his way up from nothing. He was homeless at one point. His mom kicked him out of the house. He didn't have a father figure. He's like, I had to work my way to get here. Now you get someone like Karl Anthony Towns, who he did have problems with, who was, he's been a top recruited prospect his whole life. He played at Kentucky. He's always been catered to.
He was
the first draft.
Clash.
Well, Karl Anthony Towns isn't an alpha, though.
Really?
He's not an alpha. Just because he's got good skill and plays well on a basketball court, he doesn't have the mentality of an alpha. Jimmy Butler does. Because Jimmy Butler, he just imposes his will on everyone, and Cat let him.
I don't think the Timberwolves will ever live down the whole moment of Jimmy Butler going in there with third stringers and beating the starters.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about it before in other sports and in basketball. Sometimes all you need is, the change of scenery, just a fresh start. And, that's what Jimmy Butler's got in Miami.
Yeah.
And also, warm weather. Minnesota is not exactly an exciting place to play, but Miami
basketball is played indoors, though. I will have you remember that.
But I know that, but I'm saying, you're all bundled up, walking around in the cold, blustery Minnesota.
Yeah, outside. That's fair.
I mean, he
walking
played
into the arena.
He played well in Philadelphia, but he just wasn't a good fit for the team because the team is predicated around Joel Embiid being a goofball and Ben Simmons kind of working, kind of not, but not being able to.
Same problems they've had this year.
Exactly. It's the same problem. And of course, Jimmy Butler's going to look like a cancer in the locker room because, he wants it so much. And Joel Embiid kind of wants it, and Ben Simmons kind of wants it. Cat doesn't really want it. He just kind of wants to play basketball and put up numbers. He doesn't want to win, really, because he doesn't feel that way to me. And Andrew Wiggins is soft. He was a number 1 pick, and then he didn't.
Yeah,
he didn't translate because he just
so disappointing. He just so frustrating.
It was just like this overhyped guy who didn't do much. Joel Embiid, super hyped. Ben Simmons, super hyped. Jimmy Butler goes there. He's like, nah. The Heat were underhyped this year. That's the perfect team for Jimmy.
An underdog team that no one expected to do well. That wasn't supposed to be here.
Yeah, we are supposed to be here.
So anyway, I would like to move on. Thanks for
Anywho,
I'd like to move on to the Celtics and Raptors series, which fun fact is in Game 7. I saw that.
I watched the end of that game last night. I'm just surprised, the job that Nick Nurse has done. Basically, they lost Kawhi, and now they're playing. What the Celtics are they the top seed?
They were 3.
The Celtics
or 2.
The Raptors were the 2nd seed. I think the Celtics were the 3rd seed, and then the Heat were the 4th.
I'm just surprised because obviously, the Raptors have Kyle Lowry, they have Pascal Siakam, but without Kawhi, the fact that they're pushing the Celtics, who are favored by a lot of people to win it all, they're pushing them to the brink in a Game 7 is just absolutely insane to me.
Yeah, I said fun fact it's in Game 7 because I guess I completely missed Game 6 happening.
Yeah.
So, I saw a notification saying that it forces it to Game 7.
Night?
No. Sorry, I didn't see Game 5 happen.
Okay, yeah, I
thought the series was 2-2, and then apparently the Celtics had won.
Tyler's been in a coma.
I literally
he missed a game. He just
have no idea how confused I still am thinking about it because I'm just like, how did I miss an entire basketball game?
The Celtics just beat their tails in that game, if I'm remembering correctly.
That's what I heard.
It was just the Celtics. It wasn't even close. And now, of course, like you said, they're going into a Game 7. I don't know who I'm gonna expect to win this one because either the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Kemba Walker kind of carry the Celtics.
They had a bunch of points. They combined for a bunch of points in the last game. They still lost, which just makes you think. And Pascal Siakam didn't even play that well for Toronto. So if they get him on his A game and Kyle Lowry's playing the way that he usually plays,
I don't know. I
don't think they'll win. I think the Celtics will, but I kind of like to root for the Raptors because they're I say the underdog, which is weird because
they're the higher seed.
Yeah, but I just mean losing Kawhi. A lot of people expected them to drop off more. Maybe at least I did. And the fact that they're playing in a Game 7 with the Celtics.
As a kid, I was actually a Raptors fan. I don't have a team now. I'm a neutral basketball watcher.
And you can't go back to the Raptors now because it makes you look like a bandwagon.
No, I mean, I was a Raptors fan as a kid because I really, really liked dinosaurs, and so I thought that team being named after Velociraptors was the coolest thing.
You look like a big dinosaur guy.
I was a big dinosaur guy when I was
Tyler Shibish, big dinosaur guy.
That must have been like the Andre Bargnani
big Travis Etienne guy. Had to throw that one in there too.
Yeah, that's true.
Since we missed the reference last week.
But I guess I must have been a Raptors fan back in their Andre Bargnani days.
Bargnani, love that guy.
Their Vince Carter days before I even knew who Vince Carter was.
Jerseys they had.
That was another reason. I really like the purple.
I respect that. Yeah. And we got the purple on right now, too.
That's true. We are. So you might notice if you're watching the YouTube video, and if not, Joe and I are wearing jerseys for the kickoff. Neither of the teams are playing. They're our favorite teams. I'm wearing a Justin Jefferson, and is that a Ryan Kerrigan jersey?
It is a Ryan Kerrigan jersey.
Matt, we need to start a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Hashtag
so I texted
jersey.
In our little group chat, hey, everybody wear their NFL jerseys tonight. And Matt's like, I don't have a jersey.
I don't have a jersey. I don't have a shirt. I don't have any bit of Broncos memorabilia.
Someone please send Matt a Jerry Jeudy jersey.
Or don't even send him a jersey. Just, we started GoFundMe. We chip in money. And, we can get Matt a jersey.
Yeah.
Get Matt a jersey.
Yeah.
Get the hashtag trending, folks.
So the third series that's happening right now, the Denver Nuggets are down 3-1 against the LA Clippers. But I will say, I don't want to say if anyone can come back, it'll be the Nuggets, but they did come back last series against the Utah Jazz down 3-1 as well. I think the Clippers are better than the Jazz, so I think it's going to be even more of an uphill battle, but I don't think they're completely out of it yet. What do you guys think?
I don't think they're completely out of it. I mean, it took Jamal Murray going down 3-1 for him to actually start playing well last series, so, that typically is what happens, and also there's the whole thing with Michael Porter Jr.'s comments that might throw off their team chemistry a little bit.
You want to tell us what those were?
So,
wait, there's more.
The general,
just paraphrase it.
Yeah, general paraphrase is we need to get different guys more minutes, which means he thinks he should be starting over some of the guys in the starting lineup, i.e., Torrey Craig or Paul Millsap, because Paul Millsap is a dinosaur.
I thought
ancient.
I thought the actual quote was not even about minutes; it was about touches. He
was
wanted
touches?
other people besides Jokic and Jamal Murray shooting the ball.
I mean,
and
that's the two best players on the team.
Yeah, and this guy is a second-year player now, and someone pointed out his stats for the series right now. He's attempted 44 field goals and has 2 assists in the entire series right now.
We talked about Andrew Wiggins. That's another guy that I feel like hasn't lived up to his expectations.
On the Warriors?
No. I'm saying. Porter Jr. I thought he was going to be.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Second year.
I'm just a little.
No.
It's
You're
fine.
good. I just two guys, high caliber players played at big colleges, and
he was hurt all year last year, and I think for the lack of minutes he got last year, I think he was playing well up until the playoffs. Like in the bubble, he was playing great, but then as soon as the game started to matter again, then he was kind of
it disappeared. We're talking about Porter Jr. still, right?
Yeah.
His thing is that he's always, I think it's more another situation of he's always been the toted guy. He's always been the A-dog, and now he's being forced to come off.
Fiddle.
And no, not even that.
Fiddle.
He's coming off the bench. He's not starting. They're Mike Malone took him out of the starting lineup.
Well, he's a defensive liability is the problem, especially against Kawhi and Paul George. His defense is really bad.
Yeah, it is. It's terrible.
And that's the main reason. His scoring is okay, is pretty good for a second-year player that really, it's basically his rookie year.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Also, if you've listened to some of his comments he's had about other things, he's just seems like the type of guy to just say whatever he's thinking without thinking about it. I believe he said multiple times that he thinks coronavirus is a hoax.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah, I don't know how to phrase this without just straight up saying. I think he needs to kind of grow up a little bit and mature more because, we talked about, he has that potential. He's just kind of, I don't know if he's sidetracked or distracted, but he just seems like he doesn't really care.
That being said, I was going to point out he's only 22 years old,
though,
so he does have plenty of time.
He's got plenty of time. I mean, I'm 22 years old, and I'm not very mature.
All in all, though, I think the Clippers win the next game, and then the series ends 4-1, unfortunately. I wanted the Nuggets to win, but they just didn't play nearly as well as I was hoping they would.
So we're wrapping this up, right?
Yeah.
I have one question for you guys. Do you think we'll see an LA showdown in the finals?
So then I guess we should talk about the Rockets-Lakers series as well a little bit.
Yeah.
And short answer, yes. Long answer, yes.
Interesting way to do that.
Thank you.
No, it's just probably. I'm not going to say one way or another. If the Rockets win this game, I think if the Rockets win this game and the next game, they win the series. But if they don't win this game and the next game to put themselves up 3-2, then I think that they're not going to win it. If they win this game and lose the next one, they're done. If they lose this one, they're definitely done. But that's just the way I see it.
As of literally right now, as we're speaking, at 7:10 p.m. on Thursday the 10th, the Lakers are up 46-35 on the Rockets right now. And they're also up 2-1 in the series.
Well, here's to hoping.
Oh, 46-36 now.
Ooh, we're getting live score
updates. It's almost a one single-digit game. That's the phrase. All right. Now, one last thing, actually.
Another last thing.
I brought this up earlier, and I just wanted to mention it. Back to Giannis. He needs a point guard. And he's a good secondary ball handler. But if you saw some of the assists he tried to make and some of the turnovers he had, he's not a good number one ball handler. Eric Bledsoe in the last 2 series that they got eliminated in, right? Mm-hmm. I saw this stat. Against the Raptors last year, he had 10.2 points per game, 29% shooting from the field, and 17% three-point shooting in that series. And this year against the Heat, 11.8 points per game, 33% shooting, and then 21% 3-point shooting. And just simply put, that's not good enough, especially for a Giannis point guard. Like a Giannis point guard needs to be able to shoot and needs to be able to pass, and he can do neither in the playoffs, apparently.
So who do you think would be the best point guard fit if they were to go out and get somebody? Maybe a free agent upcoming or just a couple of years down the road?
I'm trying to think of who is like a free agent next year.
I think that an ideal point guard for Giannis I actually heard this idea earlier today, would be Jamal Murray. Because
that's interesting.
Jamal Murray operates off the ball, because you said you needed to take the ball out of Giannis's hands, and I agree. I think there should be some plays called designed for Giannis to operate without the ball. But Jamal Murray is a point guard who's essentially just a shooting guard, because he's not the best point guard as is. You put Giannis and Jamal Murray together, then they kind of complement each other based upon what they can and can't do.
Yeah, but Jamal Murray's not going to leave Denver.
I mean, Giannis isn't going to leave Milwaukee, right?
Yeah.
Who
No,
knows?
I'm saying this is going to throw you guys for a loop. I want to see John Wall and Giannis together.
John
That's
Wall
awful.
can't shoot either.
John Wall, it's just another Eric Bledsoe situation. That's not going
John
to
Wall is
solve.
better than Eric Bledsoe.
He hasn't played in like 2 years.
I mean, here's the thing. John Wall is better than Eric Bledsoe. They shoot about the same, like from 3-point range.
But
Like,
see, I would argue that you don't even know if he's better than Eric Bledsoe because he hasn't played.
That is true.
When he
meaning
plays,
basketball.
he's pretty good. Though.
When he plays, he's
When he
pretty
played
good.
2
but
years ago.
So you don't
We're
think
talking
that'd
about-
be a dynamic duo?
No, I don't.
Absolutely not.
Really?
Nope. It's a play style
It's-
entirely. Eric Bledsoe and John Wall play exactly the same style. That's the
I think-
point. We're talking about play style.
As a passer, John Wall is better.
Be far better, far
Was
superior to Eric
But-
Bledsoe. But
You need to be able to
He can
shoot.
manage. He's better at managing the court too. I don't know. I mean, you guys
we
know
need-
more about basketball.
We
than
need
I
someone
do.
to operate without the ball. John Wall is known as a ball hog.
What about Bradley Beal?
Bradley Beal would be a good player to put with him.
Yeah.
That was my first thought.
But
and I
Brad's
was
not
like,
leaving Washington either, probably because him and John Wall are
What
buddy
about-
again.
Okay,
I don't know.
Hear
what
me out
can
here.
happen there.
Devin Booker, because there was lots of talks about people trying to get him.
I
I
don't
know.
think
I know.
so.
There's
They're forming.
the
a
Suns
young-
have no
How?
reason. Yeah, exactly. How is the question?
Eric Bledsoe and Chris Middleton and Brooke Lopez for Devin Booker.
I'm just saying, as a guy that had a lot of talk circulating around him, maybe people trying to go after him, he would be a pretty good fit. Because when he played point guard for the Suns, his assists went up and his turnovers went down versus when he was a shooting guard. And also, he's one of the best shooting guards in the league. So
Yeah, I mean, that would work. I also feel like if you could find a way to transition Giannis to center, I think that would actually be an interesting, don't make him play offense like a center, but make him play the role of center on your starting lineup in terms of where you list him. Just
Yeah.
put just 4 guards around him and make him center or something like that. I don't know. It'd be fun.
okay, I think it's time. We spent a little bit more time than I thought
That's
we
all
would
good.
actually about talking about basketball, but that's fine.
That is probably copywritten.
Probably, but it's fine.
I'm just humming a tune.
We're here to talk about Thursday Night Football. Tonight we have the first game of the season. It is the Chiefs versus the Texans.
Heck yeah.
So first off, I feel like this is a softball question, but who do you guys have?
Chiefs, Homer, left field.
Joe?
I think the Chiefs. I mean, the biggest question with Houston is who's Deshaun Watson going to throw the ball to, because I know they have Will Fuller and he's good. He's injury prone.
It's
and-
pre-week 4, so they have Will Fuller.
Yeah, and Brandon Cooks, they got him. He's dealing with an injury, but apparently he's suiting up for them tonight.
David Johnson, wide receiver number 2.
Yeah,
Slash
And they
running
also
back.
have
And
Darren Fuller, I think is his name.
Darren Fells.
Yeah, Darren Fells, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
he's
he's
also a good pass-catching tight end. So
But-
he's got 4 targets.
Without DeAndre Hopkins,
Targets.
I don't know how he's going to do.
I mean, here's the thing. Deshaun Watson loves to go deep. And, that's something that both Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller provide him.
Yeah.
And also, David Johnson is one of the best, probably if not the best, receiving back in the league.
I'm hoping for a David Johnson breakout again season because
Yeah,
I
'cause you
drafted,
drafted him,
in
yeah.
Well,
fantasy.
I was going to say I'm hoping for a Deshaun Watson breakout season because he's my
Fine.
quarterback.
As long as they go well together.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for a Will
But
Fuller
anyway,
breakout.
I didn't answer the question, but I think that you would be a fool to say that the Texans are going to win. I'm saying it's not impossible, but I'm saying that
it's highly unlikely.
If you pick them, I want whatever you're drinking.
Well, they played in the playoffs last year, didn't they? And the Texans were winning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Texans were up like 20-0 and then lost 56-20.
That was every single Chiefs game, though. Like, the Chiefs did that to every team.
Clearly, they have a formula that works against the Chiefs. So I don't know what it is, but I have this weird feeling that somehow the Texans are going to win tonight. I have no idea. Maybe it's just because it's been a weird offseason. We didn't even know if we were going to have football.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, Patrick Mahomes comes out there rusty, but I just have this weird feeling that the Chiefs are going to
Patrick Mahomes is going to be hungover.
One thing that I would like to counter with, and I'm not saying it's like a make or break thing, but
wrong.
33% of Deshaun Watson's 380 yards were caught by DeAndre Hopkins, who is no longer there. He had 120 yards. So that's a pretty big chunk of, what was working well against the Chiefs. Also, I'd like to say, I think that the Chiefs have a much better offense than the Texans right now.
Oh, and
statistically, the last time that there was like a shortened preseason / camps, offenses set like a whole bunch of records for most points scored in the first week.
Oh, man.
So we saw it in the Navy. Was it Navy BYU game?
Navy BYU.
Navy who
haven't been tackling.
Got destroyed.
Navy literally didn't have live tackle drills until they came out and to their credit, they made a statement. They said, from now on, we will have our guys hit each other in practice.
I would sure hope so. I mean,
after that,
they scored 3 points.
I'm nervous about the NFL season because we haven't had a preseason and there's been not too much tackling, contact. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it means we won't see as many injuries. I think the opposite.
Like, your body's not
bunch of guys
ready.
Because they haven't been, conditioning their bodies to, be dealing with this tackling, this hitting. And tonight they're going to come out there with all the adrenaline, all the blood pumping, and they're going to want to go hard. They're competitors. They're going to want to show out.
They're going to hit somebody.
Hit somebody.
Hit them.
So,
bring them down.
How do you guys think Clyde Edwards-Helaire does tonight?
I think he is going to do decent. I don't think he's going to do spectacular.
There's a lot of hype
I don't think he's going to do poorly. I think he's going to do all right.
Give him some time. He's not...
Yeah.
Couple weeks before
we talk about fantasy a lot, and he was the number
really
5 ranked running back in fantasy, which I think is just way too high.
Is him being good, or people just loving the Chiefs and Mahomes in the situation that he's in?
It's his system.
Chiefs. Well, it's literally Chiefs. Also, starting running back opted out of the season, so he's slated as like a day one starter as a rookie in Patrick Mahomes' offense, and I think that's why people are bought. And he's like a pass-catching, do-it-everything running back.
Yeah, which is exactly what the Chiefs use.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's
the complete package. They don't have to use 3 running backs now.
He's a Chiefs running back, yeah.
See, I think they still will, though.
No, I think the Chiefs' system is to use 3 running backs, but he fits perfectly in because all 3 of those running backs are always pass catchers.
Well, yeah, I think this year and early on, they're going to rotate running backs a lot just to kind of get Edwards-Helaire like familiar with the offense, get his toe in the water. But down the road, maybe the end of this year, I don't know what the contracts look like for those other guys, but if they have Edwards-Helaire who can kind of do everything those other guys can do all in one player, there's no reason to keep all those guys around because they have a lot of just a stable of running backs.
Yeah.
I
don't know. I think that there was a reason he was the first running back taken in the draft, the only one in the first round. He fits what they want to do perfectly. But I think what they want to do is spread the ball around. It's the same reason why I wouldn't ever bet on a 49ers running back or a Patriots running back having a breakout game any given week.
Yeah.
Because any one of them could do it.
Who do you pick?
That being said, I did draft Sony Michel.
And
I also is on IR.
I also drafted Raheem Mostert, so
I stay away from those running back committees because,
especially the Patriots.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, gosh.
Patriots, remember,
except when they had LeGarrette
Gray.
Blunt. I had Garrett Blunt.
Well, yeah.
Whatever year he had a bunch of touchdowns.
Because they get to the one and they just go, all right, LeGarrette, go.
You remember when they had Jonas Gray, who had 230 yards and 4 touchdowns that one game, and then was benched the next week?
I think it was against the Colts in the AFC.
Probably was.
Championship.
It wasn't a playoff game, I don't think.
Oh, never mind.
I think it was just a regular season. Yeah, it was
sad.
towards the end of the year.
Because I remember everyone bought into the Jonas Gray hype, and then he didn't play the rest of the season.
Jonas or Jonas?
Maybe I don't know.
Jonas.
whatever.
His name Jonas.
Jonas.
Jonas Gray.
So
Who
we
you
have,
got?
Yeah, who
I
you
think
got?
we should start with our teams.
Our teams. All right.
Naturally.
So my team is the first one listed on the list. I don't know
My team's
what I
second.
just did.
My team is
There
last.
we go. I fixed it. So Packers at Vikings in US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm excited. They kind of bullied us last year. And do I expect us to win? I'm a homer, so yes. Realistically, do I expect us to win? Also, yes. The Packers were 13-3 last year. You can't take that away from them. And I still have them as the favorite to win the division until they have a worse season, if that makes sense. Like, until they show me that they're not as good as were last year, I have them winning the NFC North. But that being said, they were the worst 13-3 team I've ever seen. They won like 6 or 7 of their 13 games by like 2 points.
Yeah.
They have a really good defense, and they have Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. But other than that, it's kind of Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones was a beast in fantasy last year.
But other than that, I feel
Other
like
than
the
that,
tight
it's
end
just nothing.
position, like everywhere else, they just kind of sign guys off the streets
So,
and they bring them in.
Key injuries for that game. Packers right tackle Billy Turner is not practicing yet. And he was a good tackle. But also to counter, I mean, I think he was a rookie last year. But to counteract that, our all-pro defensive end, Danielle Hunter, who would have matched up against Billy Turner, actually got put on IR. And the way that IR works this year is instead of having to wait 8 weeks, you only have to wait 3 to activate them, so he could be back for week 4. Apparently, it was a minor neck injury. He tweaked something in his neck, and they were like, well, he's not going to be ready for week 1 or week 2, so we'll just be cautious.
Yeah, and you can add another guy to the team, right? You get another
we need a backup safety.
So I think a lot of teams are doing that. I think Miami did that with Tua today.
Really?
Yeah, he was on the injury report with his hip, but I think that's just...
Well, injury report and injury reserve are 2 different things. Our injury report is actually blank right now because you don't have to report people that are on injured reserve.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Technically, like the Vikings Twitter tweeted out today's injuries and no one was on it, but everyone who had followed the situation was kind of like, okay, but that's a lie.
But you're wrong.
But anyway.
Honestly, like, I don't know. I completely forgot where I was going with that. Never mind.
It's fine.
Scrap it.
Last thing I wanted to say was the Unique Ngakoue trade looks better and better every day because especially if Danielle Hunter would have been on IR, imagine how much more they would have tried to get knowing that we're missing, our best defensive end.
Yeah, that was a savvy move.
And so...
How many sacks do you think he's going to have this year?
In this year, I could see both of them having 10 plus.
Yikes.
Jeez.
That's a lot.
That would be insane.
That would be insane.
Well, last year against the Lions, we had 9 in one game against Matt Stafford.
Poor guy.
Or maybe it was 2 years ago.
Man.
But so we played the Lions twice. But anyway, I'm excited for Unique Ngakoue. Apparently, he's looked really good in practice, which is just practice, and our offensive line. He looks good in shorts too. But our offensive line could make anyone look good. But
yeah, it's true.
I'm excited. I think we'll win 28-24. That's my prediction.
I mean,
all right.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. It's close game, I imagine, either way.
So I guess I'm next up with the Eagles at my Washington football team.
Yep, that is what you are.
It's still hard to say as I wear my Redskins jersey, but
and your Redskins hat.
I'm moving. Yep, I'm loaded up today. Moving on. So this game's tough for me. I was like, oh gosh, there's no way they beat the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
But allegedly, I think they have 2 starting offensive linemen out for the game. And obviously we know how good the Redskins defense is. They just drafted Chase Young. They've got Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Landon Collins, a lot of Alabama guys, Sean Dion Hamilton. Actually, they'll have 4 former Alabama players starting on their defense.
Really?
That's
which is pretty cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's like
I like that.
But offensively, and you guys can, give me your thoughts on the Redskins offense, but there's really not much there.
You guys' starting running back was
Antonio Gibson.
JD McKissick.
Not even. Yeah, JD McKissick. And who knows? I don't want to give. I don't trashed Dwayne Haskins in the past. I don't want to give up on him just yet.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what he's gonna do. You've got Terry McLaurin, but that's pretty much it. Steven Sims is okay. I mean, he's hyped up a lot by Redskins fans. Mm-hmm. And then your starting tight end is Logan Thomas. And then the offensive
Isn't he
line,
like a blocking tight end too?
Yeah. And they lost Trent Williams, obviously, who didn't play last year, but it would have been nice to have him back. So offensively, they're not in a great position. Defensively, they are, but I don't want them to have like a Bear situation when they have a really great defense, but they have nothing else on offense. That's what it reminds me of.
True that.
Sorry, I'm watching. Actually, the Chiefs and Texans coverage has started, and it looks like
focus.
I'm just giving you an update. They were talking about what they were going to do during the national anthem. Before the game, there was a lot of what are they going to do, and it looks like if that was what it just was, they all locked arms at the middle of the field together. They all stood, but every player from each team locked arms and stood midfield while it was playing.
All right.
So,
okay.
Can we get a score prediction?
Chiefs break 50.
I mean, I'm talking about from Joe.
For the Eagles Washington.
Oh, the
game.
Redskins.
Yeah. Whoa. Hold on, buddy. What are you talking about?
Don't be saying that.
Redskin. Oh my gosh, it's so hard. I'm sorry.
Joe!
I'm sorry. The Washington football team.
They lose 3 points every time you call them the Redskins.
Oh gosh. 20 Eagles 14.
Ooh,
that is a
very
bold
spicy.
prediction.
The Eagles are only going to score 14.
Very bold prediction. All right, and I guess that means
how are they going to score when they've got Chase Young and Montez Sweat and all those guys?
Those defensive ends can definitely cover the receivers.
What receivers?
Yeah,
Throwing
exactly.
to lawn chairs. You always have.
Hey,
Jalen
they
Reagor
drafted
got injured.
4.
He got injured.
Yeah, but they also drafted a couple other ones. And wait, did they cut Goodwin already?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I remember they
traded
traded
Alshon Jeffrey. So
that's fair.
going to be a terrible game, but I'll still watch it.
It's going to be interesting. I'll say that much.
All right, Matt.
Titans at Broncos.
Jadeveon Clowney.
Jadeveon Clowney.
I bet you that makes you a little bit worried there.
I mean, I was already worried to begin with.
And, Cortland Sutton got hurt
So-
today.
Oh, yeah,
Von Miller got hurt yesterday.
So
and-
basically, the
Yeah.
Broncos are looking a little bruised.
I haven't even played a game
Yeah.
yet. They're already bruised.
they're their own worst enemy.
Yeah, I mean, the season was already a wash for me, anyways. Really,
You're giving up?
I mean, I didn't expect us to do anything. We weren't gonna make the playoffs. I was expecting us to go, 7-9.
Well, who do you have? I know you lost Von Miller on defense. Who else do they have on defense?
I mean, we still don't have
It's
Bradley Chubb.
Chubb, yeah.
He's still out.
I thought he was playing, but on a pitch count or was limited.
Probably on a, and I believe it's snap count.
You have the
we aren't playing baseball.
They have
wrong sport.
AJ Bouye now.
Yeah, we have AJ Bouye. I'm hype about him. I'm hype about. I mean, we've got a good secondary. We've got
Essentially the opposite of the Redskins.
Yeah, they have
Or the
Justin
Washington
Simmons
football
and
team.
Kareem Jackson.
We've got a
Yeah,
great
safeties.
secondary. We've got good linebackers. Our 2 outside linebackers are injured, but our inside linebackers are good. I like Jarrell Casey on the front.
Really good. Your defense.
Our defense is still good. We're still good defensively, even without Von Miller and Bradley
Yeah.
Chubb.
Well,
I think we're still going to be decent.
Let's talk about the offense because
The-
I'm excited about the Broncos.
This is
offense
going.
this year.
The Broncos offense is going to be very interesting this year, and the only way that I think that I will come out of having folded on the season already is if Drew Lock is a stud, like
He is-
Von Miller swears up and down that he is.
I agree with Von Miller. I've been a big Drew Lock guy. In fact, in the draft, I wanted Washington to take him, and they didn't. They took Dwayne Haskins. That's neither here nor there. But I think he's going to have a breakout year with all the guys, all the weapons he's got around him.
Well,
It's possible, but I haven't seen that yet, and especially with Courtland Sutton injured right now,
Jerry
I think
Jeudy, Noah Fant.
KJ Hamler.
I'm not.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about KJ.
They
Noah
drafted
Fant-
him in the second round.
Noah Fant is not there yet,
They even drafted Albert O, which was Drew Lock's guy in college.
but
You don't think Fant's there?
Fant's not there yet. He's still a year or two removed from being there, I think, because
He had a
he
decent
wasn't.
year last year.
He wasn't great.
He had a
last year.
decent for rookie tight ends. Tight ends take a while to
Yeah.
develop.
I didn't like his play last year all that much. It wasn't my favorite. I still like him as a guy. He's a fast tight end. I like that, but he didn't really do anything. Now our running back core is stacked.
Melvin Gordon,
Melvin Gordon,
Philip Lindsay,
Phillip
who were
Lindsay.
listed as co-starters. fun
Yeah, I
fact,
don't like
to
that
start
for
the
my
season.
fantasy team.
They're
to
not
have Gordon.
co-starters. I don't care. It's Melvin Gordon, and then you bring in Phillip
That's
Lindsay
weird
on like
'cause
third down.
I actually thought Lindsay was better than Gordon was last year, at least.
Last year, yes, but Melvin Gordon
Gordon
is
is good.
Gordon's the de facto
I don't know.
starter for me. And
He
then
had-
if he like proves me wrong, then go with Lindsay because I love Phillip Lindsay, but
Yeah.
it just is what it is.
Well, you're not going to run Philip Lindsay in between the tackle.
I mean, you can. You
I
can
don't-
run
I don't
Phillip
think
Lindsay
you should.
anywhere.
Philip Lindsay is a phenomenal running back, but you need somebody like Melvin Gordon that
I mean, that's the thing. We had
Devontae Booker.
not
Royce
him, not
Freeman?
him. Royce Freeman, Rolls
Yep.
Royce Freeman. That just he would go, like he was the guy we used for between the tackles, and he's supposed to be a really good guy.
But Royce Freeman is not anywhere near as talented as
I mean,
Melvin Gordon.
we drafted
That's
him.
true.
I mean, we drafted him because he was like supposed to be like the really good NFL running back, and then Philip Lindsay just took the team by storm because of how good he was, just running in every
He was.
facet.
Wasn't he undrafted?
Yeah,
Lindsay
Philip,
was?
Philip Lindsay was
undrafted out
undrafted,
of
and,
Colorado.
and he only got a
Hometown boy.
he only got a tryout because of a favor. They asked a favor of a guy on the Broncos staff, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll get you a tryout." And then he made the starting role and went to the Pro Bowl 2 years consecutive, I think.
And he still lives with his parents, I think.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, yeah, I know.
Save your paychecks.
I think it was like an ESPN like special or something. And he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I still live with my parents. Just helps her out. Lives in the basement.
Yeah.
By the way, your first drive of your 2020 NFL season was a 3-and-out by the Texans.
Nice. All right. So now should we just go
And-
ahead and what?
No, continue. Go
Should we just go ahead and give a quick run through on who we think wins each game? Each game
Yeah.
this week, so that we
Yeah.
can move on to the news.
Just say like which team and maybe a little 1-2 sentence thing.
Jets. Oh wait, sorry. My score prediction for Titans Broncos: Titans 24, Broncos 14. That's my prediction.
I don't have a score prediction for all these games. I'll let you know.
I don't, but it's like I
Pick
feel like
your
if we were just
winners,
doing score
yeah.
predictions for our teams.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think we lose by 10. That's just me.
Jets Bills week 1.
Bills easily.
Yeah,
Bills, I think it'll be closer.
I think
than
it's gonna
most
be a
people
blowout.
think.
I think it's gonna be a blowout because the Bills defense is good. The Jets offense is bad. The Jets
Yeah.
defense is bad. The
CJ
Bills offense
Mosley
is
opted out for the Jets too.
and like that was like the only thing the Jets really had to go.
And
They
they
lost
lost
Jamal
Jamal
Adams.
Adams.
You lose CJ Mosley. You still have like a couple good players. Like we what was the
Quinnen Williams.
Quinnen Williams. He's gonna be good, but like
He's
he's
still
not gonna have
young.
any
He wasn't
help.
great last year.
Yeah, I think he.
I mean, he was a rookie last year, so it's like
That's
he was
true.
he was
Yeah,
good. He was
I'm
good
not,
for
I'm
a
not
rookie,
saying it
but
was
like it wasn't a breakout
he's
year.
not
or
like
for the
anything.
Aaron
number
Donald.
3. Yeah,
Yeah,
for the
for-
number 3 pick, he was disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, like,
But-
so I just think Bills beat the
Yeah,
crap out of the Jets.
I have to agree. I'm not really high on the Jets offense. They lost, Robbie Anderson as well. They have so it's literally just Le'Veon Bell and Sam Darnold versus the world.
Jamison Crowder,
Who
and
even y'all did.
Denzel Mims.
Jamison. Okay,
The
I'm
Washington-
proving your point. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
Oh, okay,
disagreeing.
okay.
Yeah.
okay.
About to
Denzel
say-
Mims, real quick, was my least favorite of the top
Yeah, I
hype
remember we were
receivers
texting
of the draft.
during the draft
Because-
talking about that.
One big thing that always translates better than like just sheer catch numbers in the NFL is separation. And
Mhm.
every single Denzel Mims clip I watched all year, every catch he made, the defender was like literally right on him, or like
Yeah, exactly.
he has no moves to get open, and he's like not super fast.
Yeah.
So I just don't know how well that'll translate. Anyway,
All right. Browns at Ravens. Who you got?
I think
Ravens.
yeah,
Ravens.
I agree. I think the Browns will probably be a little bit better. They'll start to live up to the hype that they had 2 years ago.
The
But
Odo Browns.
yeah,
Stop. Stop. We don't need
I
to get
hated
into that.
that.
We don't need to get into that.
I think that the Ravens are definitely the favorites to win the division again. I think that people are way overhyped on the Steelers. This is not about them, but I saw some predictions having them winning over the Ravens, and I think, the Ravens have the reigning MVP. So unless
Who can't perform in the playoffs?
that's true,
I mean,
but
Yeah.
unless it's another situation like the Rams versus the Patriots in the playoffs where they
it's
figured
ju-
them out
it's
and showed
just,
the whole league.
It's just a
Yeah.
defensive battle.
Well, no. I mean more so that like maybe, they figured like maybe the Titans. It was the Titans that beat the Ravens, right? believe
Yes,
so.
Yeah.
the Titans
Maybe-
beat the Ravens.
And the Patriots.
Maybe the Titans showed the blueprint on how to stop Lamar Jackson, and maybe he'll just have like a not great year. But I don't think that's likely. I think he's a beast.
Yeah, it's possible. All right. Colts at Jags.
Colts, obviously.
Colts,
The Jags
agreed.
got rid of Fournette.
Colts. Jags got
I love
nothing.
Minshew, but their defense is terrible.
Gardner.
And other than Minshew and Chark, that's about it.
Yeah.
Yep. Not much to say. I think Phillip Rivers' first game is going to be a softball as a new member of the Colts.
They're just going to roll the ball up to the plate.
I think he's not going to
run the ball a bunch. Give it to Marlon Mack, who's my other fantasy running back.
I don't think he's going to have a great season, but I think he's going to have a better season than Jacoby Brissett did last year.
I mean, the bar is set pretty low. Jacoby Brissett.
I mean, he wasn't bad. If I'm remembering correctly,
he wasn't good either.
Yeah.
Maybe he's average, but
I think Rivers will be better.
I agree.
Significantly better.
All right. Raiders at Panthers. Who you got?
Ooh, this is a hard one, actually. I'm trying to think.
Wasn't that hard for me?
Really?
Panthers.
Yep, Panthers.
I'm taking the Panthers. See, I'm high on the entire Panthers team.
They're going to be better.
Their defense is garbage.
What do you mean? They drafted like all defensive players. So
yeah,
they're going to have a lot of young guys.
So they have a lot of rookies.
They went entirely defensive on the draft. They actually have like a corner that was really good from last year, but like he's the only one good on their team for real.
I know. Dante Jackson.
Yeah, Dante Jackson is a spectacular corner, and their offense is just
and then
stellar.
Derek Brown should be, or excuse me. Yeah, no, it was Derek Brown.
Yeah, and
Derek
they
Brown
got your two Gross Montos. So
I don't know. But I still think they're going to win over the Raiders. I think the Raiders have a lot of question marks,
including their head coach
and their quarterback. I'm not that high on.
I still like Derek Carr, but not with
I do too.
Touchdown Kansas City.
But his number one target is what? Tyrell Williams is injured.
Henry Ruggs
probably. I mean, and I hope Henry Ruggs balls out, but I also think that part of the reason I picked the Panthers to win is because I don't know, they got a new
they've got
new coaching.
They've got a new coach, a new quarterback, new receivers. They've got the dominant running back that was last year.
So I love Teddy Bridgewater. I'm not so sold on him yet, and also I don't think their threats are that great besides DJ Moore, but
yeah,
I mean Christian McCaffrey obviously, but I meant like receivers.
I mean, you did cite Robbie Anderson being lost by the Jets as a loss.
Well, he was their number one, but I don't think he's that great.
Yeah,
I think he was kind of overhyped because he's just like a run straight down the field and catch lots of like 50-yard pass type guy. But
I mean, he's a burner.
But I do really like. For the life of me, I cannot think. Matt Rule. There we go.
Yeah,
I did it
Matt
eventually.
Rule,
and I like Joe Brady a lot. So
they're headed in the right direction. But honestly, it's not going to happen overnight.
All right. Bears at Lions. Who you got?
I have the Lions winning this one, actually. I think that the Bears quarterback situation is not great. And I think that the Lions are all healthy right now. So it's the annual Matt Stafford's going to look good for 5 weeks and then get hurt. So right now he has one of the good games and they win.
But their defense is terrible.
That is very
also
true.
But the Bears' offense is terrible. So.
Well,
I'm going to
Mitchell
disagree with
Trubisky's
you.
terrible.
I think Mitchell Trubisky is going to surprise a lot of people.
I don't think he's going to surprise any.
All he has to do is play decent.
I've heard that for 3 years.
Here's the deal. Mitchell Trubisky,
his rookie year, he wasn't bad. It was just this is third year. Right?
I mean, he went 12-4 once and made the Pro Bowl as like a backup, and like
all he has to do is be average or just slightly above average.
I mean, I think he's just slightly below average is the problem with that.
Yeah, last year he was slightly below average, but if he can get to average or be even just a little bit better than that,
last year,
I don't know.
I don't believe in Trubisky at all.
This is his fourth year.
I still believe it's going to be a Bears win just because I like the Bears defense.
So
Bears.
What happens when
Tyler's scared of the Bears?
What happens when a stoppable force meets a movable object?
That's a good question. It depends on which one's stronger.
Yeah, Bears offense, Lions defense.
All right, here we go. Seahawks at Falcons. Who you got?
Upset alert. I've got the Falcons.
I've heard a lot of people saying that, actually.
I mean, look at the weapons they've got. You've got Matt Ryan, who can occasionally throw a football, throwing to
Julio, Ridley, Hayden Hurst, who they got from Baltimore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I actually think that Todd Gurley is going to also have a bounce back year. So I got a lot of hot takes.
I could
maybe
see it.
That one's not as much.
And their defense is also pretty good too. It's not spectacular, but it's
until they all get hurt again.
Well, yeah. And I'm a huge on
They got
Keanu Neal.
Marlon Davidson too.
Yeah.
And Tack McKinley. Hopefully he steps up. I know he's been kind of disappointing.
I went with the safe pick here. I picked the Seahawks because Russell Wilson is just very good.
I'm also just the Seahawks addressed every single issue on the roster.
Except,
but like part of it,
defensive line.
They're going out and picking up all the guys that there are left. Like that, they've been spending all of the money that we're going to save on Jadeveon Clowney, and they're picking up every free agent they can.
But who's left?
I don't know. It's
like Clay Matthews, who said he didn't want to play for the Broncos.
Yeah, exactly.
But
sad.
To be fair,
sad.
When hearing about that, he said he didn't want to play for the Broncos on a vet min deal because he said that he would still play if he got a good offer. But basically, it boils down to he had a $2 million bonus left from the Rams, and if he took a contract for less than that, it cancels out basically, and he loses a lot of money. So
yeah, and I think part of the reason why I picked the Falcons too is because even though there's not as many fans in there, they're still playing their home stadium,
and they are known to pump in crowd noise.
Yeah.
That is true.
Why does the Falcons Stadium sound like it's full?
Beats me.
It might as well be.
Right. Dolphins Patriots. Cam Newton, future MVP apparently.
Yeah, you see that tweet I tagged you guys in?
I did, and then I also
It's
saw
going to be
that,
a terrible game. By the way, this game's going to be awful.
But
the Patriots are going to win,
I
but it's
agree.
going to be a terrible game
100% agree.
because their whole defense isn't
Dolphins.
playing.
Why do you say that, Matt?
I say Dolphins.
Yes, but why?
I don't think that's that much.
The
of a hot
entire
take.
Patriots defense opted out. Like Dante Hightower's
That's
out.
true.
But
Aren't the McCourty twins out too? Like
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But
no,
who do they have on offense besides Preston Williams? I don't
they have
even know.
they have Jordan Howard now.
They have Jordan Howard. They have Matt Breida. They have Devontae Parker. They have Preston
Oh.
Williams. They've got Mike Gesicki. They've got Ryan Fitzpatrick,
Meh.
who is good for a third of the season.
Meh.
He's good for a third of the. I mean, to be fair, yes, meh. Who do the Patriots have on defense? No one.
But it's Belichick. He always finds a way,
That's true.
and he's got Cam
But
Newton
I think
and Julian
but
Edelman.
everyone
So I
knows
think he'll be all right.
Belichick wants Trevor Lawrence. He's not. He's
Do
already
they?
told Cam he's on a 1-year rental. Cam knows he's on a 1-year rental. This is
When
literally
he balls
just,
out and wins MVP, Trevor Lawrence can come in there next year and
I think if Cam wins MVP, they're not getting Trevor Lawrence. Hate to break it to you.
yeah. If Cam wins MVP, they're not going to be in a
that's
position
true.
to draft Trevor Lawrence.
That's a
Um,
great.
I
point.
just-
didn't really think about that.
I just literally, I just think that Bill Belichick's not going to be trying to win as much this year. He's going to like put out all of the young guys that he can and say, go out there and play football. He's going to decide who wants it. He's going to cut the other guys. It's going to be a culling of the herd, and he's going to come back even stronger than he was before next year, but not this year.
I'm not saying the Patriots will necessarily have a great year, but they're going to beat the Dolphins. Maybe they'll beat them the first time they play. Later on in the year, I don't know.
I think this is part of the Fitzmagic portion of the season. I think that's what we're in right now.
All right.
Fair enough.
So next one we have on our list we have Chargers at Chargers, but it's actually Chargers versus the Bengals. I think rookie Joe Burrow leads the Bengals to a W. I think that I'm not that high on Tyrod Taylor. I don't think he's that great, and also Mike Williams is going to be out, so it's just Tyrod Taylor and
Keenan
Austin
Allen.
Eckler and Keenan Allen.
Which is
I do
And
like
I guess
Austin
Hunter Henry.
Eckler. And the Chargers defense, even without Derwin James, is pretty spectacular.
Joey
Because
Bosa,
they
Kenneth
got-
Murray.
Chris Harris Jr. from us,
That's fair.
salty.
But I think that the Bengals added a lot this offseason.
I almost picked the Bengals in this game because,
Okay.
like you're talking about, they got Burrow. AJ Green apparently is 100%
T. Higgins,
healthy. T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, who
Tyler
was-
Boyd.
yeah, and
List goes on and on.
Yeah,
no
they have-
longer Tyler Eifert. He's
they
gone.
have a terrible defense too, but
Yeah.
they have a great offense.
I think Eifert went to the Dolphins, actually. We're speaking
Hey,
of the Dolphins.
no, he
Another
went
weapon.
to the Jaguars.
just kidding.
You're so right. Actually,
I
knew it was
saw
a
that
Florida
today.
team.
You lied
'cause
to
I was
me.
Looking at
I'm
it.
sorry. I'm wrong.
How dare you lie to me?
But I think that ultimately in the game of football, you're only as good as your quarterback, and I don't think Tyrod Taylor is that great. And so I think that
You think Joe Burrow's better than Tyrod Taylor
Yes.
right now?
Yes, I do too. But I think that Tyrod Taylor is an old veteran who does occasionally have a good game or two.
It's true, but it's just every time I think of Tyrod Taylor, I think back to the game when he was with the Bills and they were in the playoffs, and he literally could not complete like a 2-yard pass. It was
Well,
like
it's
the
cold
worst.
Was it a home game?
I think it
It's
was,
pretty cold up there. And
but his like final passing stats were like it was like 10 completions for like 130 yards or something.
I
like
mean,
that.
but to be
as
fair,
they
though,
lost
that's-
by like 30 points.
That's every Bills quarterback for the last 20 years. Just
except for
about.
Josh
Josh Allen,
Allen.
who looks
Well,
good in shorts.
Draft
Stop
JoshAllen.com.
All right.
Cardinals
Next.
49ers.
Cardinals 49ers. At 49ers.
I picked the Cardinals to win this one because hear me out.
Ooh.
Hear me out. No, hear me out.
High voltage
One,
take.
Hearing you out.
there's 3 reasons, right? I'll list my 3 points. You can count them on your fingers too. Number 1, the 49ers are going to regress. Most Super Bowl teams do.
The hangover.
They always
Great
disappoint.
movie.
People, see them going 13-3 last year, and so they expect them to do it again. They're not going to do that again, I don't think. 2, the Cardinals added DeAndre Hopkins and, just overall, maybe the best receiver in the league. I know you guys like
Still have
Julio,
Larry Fitzgerald too,
but
and
Christian Kirk. So they have a whole bunch of weapons for Kyler Murray, and Kyler Murray will improve in his second year. And number 3, if you watch last year's Cardinals-49ers games, the Cardinals played the 49ers really well in all the games. I think they lost. It was a one possession game both times. So they very easily could have won both of those games. I believe it was a one possession game. I could be wrong. It could be like a 10-point win.
No, I think you're right.
For a team that picked, in the top.
Kenyon Drake too.
Yeah,
Kenyon Drake. They just extended him, which means that they like him.
Yeah, and he was playing really well for them.
Yeah,
He's
he
the
was.
type of running back they need. And so I think with all this together, the Cardinals getting better, the 49ers regressing, getting a little bit worse. Because, they lost DeForest Buckner. They drafted Javon Kinlaw to replace him, but Javon Kinlaw is a rookie. And, you know what DeForest Buckner is. You don't know how.
Yeah.
I think Javon Kinlaw will be a beast, but it's his first year.
Yeah.
But anyway, so those are my 3 reasons. 3, count them, 3 reasons.
Their offensive line is horrible though.
Yeah.
I still like the 49ers.
Yeah, me too.
Just me.
And
yeah.
I see what you're saying, but
I see what you're saying. I understand why you're saying it, but I think you are wrong.
Yeah. Even though they got Isaiah Simmons, and
that is great.
Hassan Reddick.
pick.
I think they still have him. But
Chandler Jones
Yeah.
led the league in sacks last year.
Other than that, offensive line, defense as a whole, questionable. But they got a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
All right. Next up, Bucks at Saints in New Orleans.
I think that the Bucks are overhyped, and I think that the Saints are going to win.
I think the Saints are
I
going to
will
be
agree with
pissed.
that.
I think the Saints are just angry right now because they feel like they've been screwed out the last 3 seasons by either pure luck or by
Those damn
bad
Minnesota
call.
Vikings.
Yeah, 2 of those 3 seasons, baby.
yes.
Oh, sorry, did I do that?
But yeah, I think they're just
Is that
angry,
Kirk Cousins? Oh no.
and I think
I
they're
wish it
going
was.
to blow the Bucks away.
I hope they do because I hated that ESPN, all that hype that they had when Brady signed there. It's like they have Brady and Gronk. That's all they added. Really.
Reminds me. So I was thinking about a
And Fournette.
comparison.
Now it's Leonard
I was-
Fournette, and now you. So what? All right, sorry, you go before I go off on this tangent.
I was just saying. I was thinking about a comparison the other day, and I was like, who can I liken this Bucks team to? And I just kept going back to the 2010s Brooklyn Nets after they got Paul
Okay.
Pierce and Kevin Garnett, and then they had Darren Williams. So in this situation, you get Brady and Gronk, who are your Paul Pierce and your Kevin Garnett, 2 Hall of Famers that are past their prime, not nearly as good as everyone thinks they're going to be. And then you have Darren Williams, and that can be one of your receivers, or it can be Leonard Fournette, whoever you want. Like a young, promising player that will probably not be as good with those 2 around him as people think they're going to be.
I mean, what happened was, I think that Mike Evans is really good at football, and I think Chris Godwin is really good at football, and I think Leonard Fournette is really good at football, and I think LaShawn McCoy is a good pass catching back.
Was really good at football.
Was really good at football at one
15
point.
years ago.
I think O.J. Howard is good at football, and I think Cameron Brate is good at football.
Yeah.
I think
Solid role players.
I think that Gronk is the 3rd string tight end.
I just completely disagree.
Yeah, so do
Tom
I.
Brady gets what he wants, and he definitely wants Gronk to be the
I
number
think
one.
Gronk needs to be the 3rd string tight end because
skill-wise, maybe I could agree
Well,
with
if he's
that.
the third
but
string tight end, then trade him to the Washington football team because we could sure use a tight end.
he would just retire.
he would just
I would
retire on
retire
the
too.
spot again. Yeah, but
yeah.
I think that I think that the Bucks are going to be better than y'all are giving them credit for because I think that they do have a lot of good players.
I go back and forth on them.
I don't know.
But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I think that the Saints are going to win this one because I think the Saints are truly elite. Like I've got the Bucks pegged as like a 10-6 team, but I've got the Saints pegged as like a 13-3 team.
My
So
biggest thing about the Saints
Good division too.
is that
very good division.
how many more years can Drew Brees put up top of the league?
One more year.
I do not know. That man keeps
it's
going.
It's like Tom Brady, right?
Yeah.
People kept saying like, "Oh, this is his year that he's gonna fall. This is the year he's gonna fall," and every
he
year
never
he kept.
did.
But last year, Tom Brady did.
Yeah,
and
he
so
did not look great.
Maybe this is Drew Brees' year. That's the only counter argument I'd have against them. I picked the Saints to win, and I think the Saints are going to, do well against the Bucks, and I think they're going to win the division. But also, Drew Brees could just, collapse like Tom Brady did last year.
Yeah,
Who knows?
it's possible. So now, next game, Cowboys at Rams.
I have the Cowboys. I think that their offense, CeeDee Lamb being your number 3 receiver is a pretty good problem
Not too
to have.
Shabby.
Pretty good.
Dak is I was really iffy on Dak, but last year he kind of proved himself to me. I'm a bigger fan of Dak last year than I was going into it. Zeke is a beast, and they finally have a competent coach that doesn't just clap on the sidelines as things are going wrong.
McCarthy, yeah,
and I love to make fun of Mike McCarthy as a Vikings fan because he was a Packers fan forever, or he was a Packers coach forever, excuse me. But I mean, I'm sure he was a Packers fan as well. But I think he's a much better coach than Jason Garrett. So
I agree with you. I think the Cowboys are going to win. I'm high on the Rams, but I think the Cowboys are also going to be good this year. I actually have both these teams winning their divisions, but we'll kind of dive deeper into that.
Ooh, that's kind of spicy. Rams beating the 49ers. You were making fun of me for saying the 49ers would lose.
I think the Rams...
I was just making funny to make funny.
I think the Rams are going to win this game just because they've got...
It is at Rams.
It's in Los Angeles, but that's not even the reason. I just think...
New stadium?
Could be cool.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to be hyped up. There's going to be a lot of motion in that game, which could definitely play a factor. I don't know if they have fans, but...
My thing is, it's going to be... I like Jared Goff as a quarterback. I like their running back situation. I like their receivers, and I like their defense. I like that.
I do not think Jared Goff is a good quarterback, but that's, I guess, a discussion for a different time. I will say that when your head coach literally has to tell you where to throw the football pre-play, that's not a good NFL quarterback.
We'll see. We're just going to see what happens. Because a lot of Sean McVay's coaching style is where it's like, hey, this route will be open. Because he meticulously designs every play for one guy to get open.
You can noticeably see a difference when Jared Goff has to do hurry up and call his own plays.
Yeah,
looks so much worse than when McVay can script them for him. And I think that's kind of a knock on the quarterback.
Well, do you think McVay and the way he runs his offense is kind of handicapping Goff from reaching his potential?
I think it might be a little because the Rams' offense has always been ridiculously simple. They don't have a lot of plays. They run a couple things a bunch of times, and that's why the Patriots were able to stop them because they were able to build a dossier, essentially.
Exciting game, 10-3.
They were able to essentially build a dossier of exactly what the Rams were doing in every situation.
Yeah.
And so, as a result, they were able to shut them down. That's the thing with Sean McVay's offense. It's really good, but it's really simple. You don't do a lot.
I think what I'd say to counter that, though, is that I don't think Jared Goff is a good enough quarterback to improvise his way to a championship as well. I don't think they would have been any better going okay, Goff, what are you seeing out there? What do you want to do?
I want to see Jared Goff under pressure. And, this year he doesn't have Todd Gurley.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's more pressure under him. So we'll get to see, how great of a quarterback he is.
Yeah.
I have a sleeper player on the Rams.
Is it Tyler Higbee?
No, it is not.
Is it Cam Akers?
Wide receiver Van Jefferson, who I think was their
fifth round. I believe
round?
Fifth or sixth out of Florida.
Yeah, out of Florida. I think he's going to have a breakout year. Heard some great things about him out of the Rams camp, and so he's my sleeper player to watch out for.
My problem with Van Jefferson would be that at best he's their wide receiver number 3 right now.
Well, they said that he's probably going to get more snaps than Josh Reynolds. So,
I would say, but with Josh Reynolds, he would be wide receiver number 4. So if he gets more snaps, he'd be wide receiver number 3 because you have Cooper Kupp and then you have cannot for the life of me think of the other
Robert Woods.
Thank you.
Isn't Kupp banged up though? Didn't he get injured?
No, that was last season. He's back. I think he's back for this season. So.
I think he might be questionable right now, but I don't think it's anything.
Just like
serious.
The rest of the Rams, questionable.
Yeah.
All right. Last game, Steelers at Giants. Easy one. Steelers.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to even say the word?
Let's talk about some news that's happening in football before we wrap everything up because we are getting kind of
we're running out of time here.
So, who do you think has the most pressure on them in the NFL this season? I think that Jared Goff would be a decent answer.
Yeah,
but that's not who I'm going to go with.
It's make or break kind of this year for Jared Goff. He's got before it was always it's a run heavy system and it's always designed. Now the offense is going to be designed around him.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be designed around can you do it?
Honestly, it sounds kind of okay. So
he's not my pick either. Though,
I have a couple answers. One, Mitch Trubisky. This is his last year to make a name of himself. If he underperforms, he is gone. And then the other one I would also say Tom Brady.
I was going to say Tom Brady.
I think that if he underperforms with this team, people will be like, All right, Tom, it's time to pack it up.
Well, also, let's say Brady underperforms, the Bucs miss the playoffs, and then Belichick takes Cam Newton. He's like, and takes what he has, which isn't much, and Newton wins MVP, and maybe they don't get to the playoffs, but they get close. And
if Newton wins MVP, they will be in the playoffs. There's no way they give MVP to
a guy who doesn't make the playoffs.
I'm going back and forth. I think Newton's going to win MVP, but sometimes, I think, there's really not much.
Find me a time that the MVP was not in the playoffs, and I will accept that. But I think that if he wins MVP, they will be in the playoffs.
I think the person.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you still going?
No.
Okay.
I think the person under the most pressure right now is Dak Prescott. The man is demanding $40 million a year, and if he does not perform at the peak of his capability, he's going to have no ground to stand on.
Wow.
It's only internal pressure, too. It's just himself. The pressure is from himself.
Matt thinking ahead, because that was the next point, was, what happens if Dak Prescott underperforms?
If Dak Prescott underperforms, do they still pay him, or do they let him walk?
They'll let him walk.
I don't know, because it's not often you get a franchise quarterback, and Dak Prescott is good enough to be a franchise quarterback, but he's not a franchise quarterback worth that much money.
Yeah.
So who do you think is going to have a good year this year? A breakout star, if you will.
Drew Lock.
All right, that's your prediction. I hope you're right. I don't agree yet, but I hope you're right. I'm trying to think. Who do you have, Tyler? While I'm thinking.
I have a homer one that I thought of right away. In Irv Smith Jr. He'll probably be our number.
I hate that.
Why?
Roll Tide.
He would be our number 2 wide receiver this year, basically number 2 targeted, I think. And I think that with Stephon Diggs gone, you have Adam Thielen. I think he's going to get more targets than Kyle Rudolph, because Kyle Rudolph is more of an everything. He's our tight end 1, but Irv is our catching tight end.
Swerving Irvin.
And BC Johnson, I think Irv will get more, targets, and then especially more targets than rookie Justin Jefferson. I'm trying to think if there's
whose jersey you're repping.
I am repping the Justin Jefferson. It would have been an Irv jersey, but it hasn't come in the mail yet.
The man who wields 2 pens wields 2 jerseys.
I have
my goodness.
5 jerseys actually.
Oh, well, never mind then.
Scratch that. Scratch it.
Tyler's putting me in my place tonight.
A bit of a jersey hoarder.
Here's my prediction.
Okay, good. I'll try to think of a non-homer one while you go.
Kyler Murray. He has a breakout season.
He won Rookie of the Year last year.
That I don't care.
Is that not a breakout year?
It's not a breakout year for me.
So he's winning MVP.
I mean, because the thing is,
sorry, Cam.
Yeah, he had what was the Cardinals' record last year? Wasn't it not great?
I think 5-11.
Yeah, I think they had
it was 5-11 or 4-12.
7th or 8th pick. I don't know if that helps.
I think so. They were 5-10-1.
Oh yeah, they tied the
Lions.
So I think what's going to happen with the Cardinals is I think they're going to finish this year at least 8-8 on the shoulders of Kyler Murray, just slinging them. Obviously, Hopkins is going to help him with his breakout year, but I think that the Cardinals are just going to go out there slinging.
Okay. Well, can it be a re-breakout year? I have to ask, because I do really want to say David Johnson. I think that
it can.
He's the featured. He's their number 1 offensive threat now, and I think that
for the Texans.
Yeah.
You know who scored the first touchdown in tonight's game?
David Johnson.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh
no.
Do you want to touch on that? The Chiefs' touchdown was called back, and then they went 3 and out. So.
Hey-o.
Was it really? Just now?
No. Earlier when I said the first touchdown of the season, it got called back. So I think that David Johnson, I actually didn't even see that, but I think that David Johnson's my pick because he's the feature back again. And I think that he's going to finally be healthy. He has a coach that traded him for maybe the best receiver in football, so they're going to want to use him.
They better.
So
he's versatile too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then did you have yours? Or am I?
You already said
I said
his.
Drew Lock.
Oh,
yeah,
you said
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock.
All right.
Too many weapons around him for hopefully. I mean, he's got to succeed or fail, but I think he's going to succeed.
We already talked about Tom Brady, so I think next we should talk about Aqib Talib retiring from the NFL. That's pretty.
Aqib Talib. I love Aqib Talib. I'm so sad he's gone.
Aqib Talib. I don't know. Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
5-time Pro Bowl isn't a lot.
I mean, didn't he lead the league in interceptions once or twice as well?
Yeah, but interceptions are a really volatile stat.
They are. I think Aqib Talib is an elite corner.
I think he was, but also I think that lack of accolades is going to be the only thing that hurts him. I think that he probably should be.
I mean, just worst case, second or third ballot. I think.
I think it's a little early for that, but I mean,
I believe it. I believe in him.
I think there's a chance, but I think it's the same chance as like, I don't know, Andre Iguodala in the NBA making it. I think that not everyone thinks that, he should. And I think that you could make a fair argument either way.
I mean, Iggy, yeah, it's a question mark. I think that an argument could be made for, an argument could be made against. I'm also a Broncos fan. I love Aqib Talib. He's awesome. That's just me.
And then the last thing I guess we have is Ryan Shazier officially called it. He retired from the NFL after. Goodbye, sir.
Good man.
Missed. Honestly, I really hope he keeps working in football. He probably will.
Coaching, yeah. He's a great coach.
He's got the mentality for it. He's got the motivational speaker kind of like feel to him. Like, I think he could do something as a coach. I like Ryan Shazier so much.
And I just want to say quick, shout out to the Steelers organization as a whole. I love the way that they kept him. Yeah. They kept him on the roster so that he could get, rehab and treatment, and he's walking again after maybe. So anyone who didn't see it, it was 2017 in the playoffs. He hit his neck, basically his head, and was paralyzed from basically the waist down for a while. And he actually recently he's walking again. He was dancing, I saw.
Yeah, he did a box jump last year.
And I love how classy the Steelers were about the whole thing, keeping him on the roster so he could rehab and work his way back
still.
Up. Yeah.
Which is awesome.
I love that.
And so, I'll miss him, but I hope he does come back to football.
Absolutely.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Super Bowl predictions.
Chiefs.
Chiefs first. Who? Give me a score.
Gosh, let me.
I'll go. Okay, I have the Steelers winning against the Saints, 27-24.
That's really interesting because I don't even know if the Steelers
semi-hot take
the playoffs.
with the Steelers.
You think the Steelers are going to make the
Super Bowl? I think the Steelers are going to win the.
I think they could be a wild card team. Oh, I don't think they beat the Ravens out. I also think the Chiefs are going to win. I'm trying to think of an NFC team off the top of my head that would be a good answer to that question.
I got it. Chiefs, Seahawks.
Seahawks was also where my mind went.
Chiefs over Seahawks. Final score. I can't see the Cowboys. I think it's going to be Chiefs, Seahawks. I think it's going to be final scores like probably 45-27. Chiefs winning. Just because the Seahawks offense is going to be potent, but the Chiefs offense is just going to be more potent. That's just how the
it looks
Chiefs
like
run.
The Chiefs offense has been kind of stagnant tonight.
They're going to get it together. They always do. It doesn't faze me.
It's the first game. You got to knock off the rust.
Yeah, and they're probably hungover. So,
but yeah, Chiefs
not from alcohol, from the Super Bowl.
Maybe both. Maybe both. Who knows?
Celebrating
Travis
until the
Kelce
season
parties.
starts. Yeah,
and so does Mahomes.
So,
hey guys, go party.
And with that, I think that's all the time we have for tonight.
Window open. Can I jump out of it?
I think that's all the time we have for tonight.
Love Mahomes.
So
we hit all of our references too. Yeah.
Sounds like
we did.
Those are good references.
Something. Mahomes looks good in shorts.
Stop.
Something. Travis Etienne season.
Nope. We're ending this now.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you all for joining us.
Hello, YouTube. Goodbye, YouTube.
This is episode 4.
Yes, this is episode 4.
Losing track of time already.
I know. We've been doing this for so long. It's hard to
literally
keep
a month.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks everyone for joining us. And
we'll see you next time.
Roll Tide.